Hey guys, it's Jess, and I woke up this morning not feeling good, but also listening to YouTube videos trying to go back to sleep, and something hit me like a brick, and it was that I bought a red shirt at a Canadian duty-free shop on my way back to the States this time last year, and I haven't seen it since I moved over to Brandon's house, and I figured it was time for some awful roommate stories because the reason I don't have my shirt is because one of my roommates stole it. So I have had bad experiences with pretty much every roommate I've had. There have been three stories that I'm going to tell today that were the worst. Brandon's house and the roommates that he has, I've never really had an issue with. I just don't necessarily get along with. We're civil, but we're not friendly. I wouldn't hang out with them, but I'm not going to be mean to them. You know what I mean? It's neutral. We'll put it that way. It's neutral. So my first instance with having a roommate was in early 2015, and I was trying to finish college, and my parents were getting evicted because the landlord wanted to sell the property. So I had to figure out a living situation because my parents didn't know what they were going to do, and I was just trying to finish college. I didn't care. So a friend of mine who happened to not be in town at the time was like, hey, I have this, huge house that, someone's there and watching for us, but you're more than welcome to stay in one of the other rooms until we get back. I'm like, all right, cool. I just need to finish all my stuff with college and, do all the licensing tests and stuff like that, get a job, and then I'll get my own place. So everything was squared away, and at first the guy was friendly, but it was super, super awkward. And the biggest issue that I had was him eating my food. Now, I have a really severe peanut allergy, so I avoid peanuts like the plague. And a food intolerance that I have is gluten, so if I eat gluten, I get really sick. So for graduation, my parents had given me $50, and even though I was allowed to eat, whatever was in the pantry and in the fridge, as per the instructions of the actual homeowner, stuff at the house was wearing kind of thin, and I really needed food. So my parents gave me $50 for graduation, and I went to the store and I bought some food. And one of the things that I bought was a pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream because I was like, you know what? I graduated college and I deserve some ice cream. I'm going through some stuff and I'm going to treat myself to some really good ice cream. So I bought that. I went home and marked all of my stuff. I put my name on everything. I put all of my stuff in one specific location. It was on one shelf in the fridge and one shelf in the pantry, and all of my stuff was separate. I didn't feel like it was appropriate for me to have to take all of my stuff and put it in my room. You get what I'm saying? So I got all of my stuff together and had it separated from the general food everywhere else. Even stuff that I put in the freezer had my name on it, including my ice cream. So one day I go downstairs and I was making waffles. I think I was making waffles. And there were fork marks in the butter. And I was like, that's really weird because I don't remember doing that. And then I seen that somebody else, obviously the guy, had made toaster waffles or something because there were still waffles sticking out of the toaster. So I was like, all right, whatever. The gluten thing is more of a food aversion, but the peanut thing, that's a problem. So a couple days later, I went to go eat my ice cream, and it was already half empty. I had literally eaten a spoonful out of it, and it was already half empty. I was like, what? What is happening? This is not reality. And then I looked in the sink, and there was a spoon that had peanut butter on it, and I freaked out. I was like, I can't even eat this now. I can't eat my ice cream because I don't know if this was the spoon used for that. Was there like cross-contamination? If I eat this ice cream and there's like peanut junk in it, like am I gonna die? And I was like freaking out. And I legit like went ballistic on this guy and was like screaming at him and freaking out because I was so mad. Like I was so strapped for cash that I didn't even really know how I was going to get to a job interview because I could not scrounge up enough change for the bus. Like money was super tight, and maybe I didn't like have the right to buy Ben & Jerry's ice cream knowing that I really didn't have any money, but you know, it was my college graduation and that was how I celebrated, was with a pint of ice cream. So I was mad and I told him like, you have no right to eat my food. You know, you have no right to, you know, do the things that you've been doing and be this horrible of a roommate and whatever. And like, it's not your house. He had people in and out of the house all the time. It wasn't his house. He didn't have permission to have people at the house. He was leaving dishes everywhere. He was leaving garbage everywhere. Like it was one of the worst roommate situations I've ever had. And he was like, oh, well, you know, you could have sleptwalked and ate your ice cream. Now, his room was on the ground floor, along with the fridge, the freezer, and my ice cream. My room was up a flight and a half of stairs. So, like, it was one of those, like, 3 or 4 steps, and then there's, like, the landing, and then there's the rest of the steps, and then there's, like, the whole rest of the house. Now, I am just going to need somebody to explain to me how I could have possibly sleepwalked, how I could have, in my sleep, walked down a flight and a half of stairs, into the kitchen, into the freezer, got my ice cream, ate half of it, without dirtying up a spoon, because I use plastic silverware, dirtied up a spoon, washed the spoon, because there was no plastic spoon in the sink, put my ice cream back in the freezer, gone upstairs, gone back to bed without falling down the stairs, tripping over dogs, or getting injured in any way. Like, somebody's going to have to explain that one to me, how I could have possibly done all that in my sleep. So there was that. Eventually he moved out and all was well. So the next issue that I had was with this guy. It was actually right after this situation, where I had found a roommate and moved, and everything was cool for the first little bit. We like got along and stuff. But he started acting really weird. I think it was because he liked me, but I didn't like him. So it was awkward. Just trying to get the laundry card from him was a mess. I eventually just got my own laundry card. But I was never really at the apartment, so I would like make food for work in the morning or like on the weekends. And then when I got home, I would do the dishes or, you know, put them in the dishwasher and like rinse them out first, obviously, put them in the dishwasher and then wait until the dishwasher's full to start it, because I was paying utilities. I didn't see a point in starting a dishwasher when there's like a plate, a cup, and a fork, and I'm going to run the dishwasher. Like, that makes no sense. It's a waste of soap, a waste of water, a waste of electricity, whatever. So he stopped talking to me eventually and got like really passive aggressive and would take any dirty dishes that I had, including like this huge crock pot. He would take them out of the dishwasher and put them in my room so that whenever I opened the door, because there was no light switch, everything was like you had to like have lamps and stuff. It was super weird. And so because of there being no light switch, my light was like on the other side of the room, but I could see enough getting into the room that I could go turn on my lamp. He would take the dishes and he would put them on the floor, like right behind the door, so that when I opened the door, if I tried to like take a step inside, I would like trip over dishes and stuff. And I'm not saying like it was just the crock pot or just cups or whatever. It was literally everything, including knives. So there was a couple times where like I would trip over something and come like this close to getting impaled by a steak knife. And I'm just like, I haven't even used a steak knife, so I'm not even entirely sure what's happening here. And it wasn't even always just my dishes. Sometimes it was his dishes too. And I'm just like, there's a dishwasher. You rinse off your stuff, you put it in the dishwasher. Like, I'll start it, I'll take care of it. But like, really? The other thing was that like, he told me originally that he didn't drink, smoke, or do drugs. And he would often like leave for days on end so that I would have to take care of his dogs, which like I don't care, but like tell me and leave instructions. But he would also like, he started smoking, and the apartment was a non-smoking apartment. And he started leaving like weed paraphernalia everywhere. So there was like a grinder and a lighter on the counter, and I was like, what's this? He's like, oh, my friend left it here. But it was like mixed in with all of his stuff. And then coming out of my bedroom, like right as you open the door, there's like, here's the bathroom, or here's the bedroom here, here's the bathroom. And then across like this tiny little hallway is a closet that had like all of his stuff in it. And he was like super minimalistic, so like literally all his stuff was like on shelves in this closet. And in his stuff, visible, because he never closed the door, was a pack of cigarettes and a marijuana grinder. And I'm just sitting here like, okay. So there was that. Eventually he took a job out of state, and I had to move, which is what took me to Alaska. Coming back from Alaska, when I was there, I didn't really have any issues with my roommates besides like passive aggressive behavior, but I think it's just because like we butted heads a lot. But it was never anything like awful. You know what I'm saying? And then coming back from Alaska, I moved in with somebody I've known for like 10 years, thinking, all right, cool. Like I've known her family, like it's fine, not a big deal. It became a big deal when like I'm trying to sleep and she's playing music super, super loud. There was like a significant lack of respect like in the house. You know what I mean? Like that was a mess. Anytime that I would try to like go grocery shopping or something and like get stuff for the house, it was a lot of me feeling like I was getting stuff more for her and like her situation than I was getting for my own self. So I felt like I was kind of being taken advantage of, but I never said anything about it because I didn't feel like it was my place. The biggest issue came whenever I moved out. She asked for 30 days notice, and I was here at Brandon's house, and I texted her like, dude, listen, I've had a really good opportunity come up. I didn't tell her what it was. I was like, I've had a really good opportunity come up, and I'm going to be moving. So I'm going to start like moving my stuff over, like starting tomorrow. I'm going to start like slowly transitioning my stuff over. That way, you know, I could get all of my things and there wasn't like a big hassle or whatever. And she proceeded to text me a picture of like all of my stuff in the living room in garbage bags. And it made zero sense because there was literally like, she put trash in my stuff. There was like some of her stuff in my stuff. And I was just like, okay, whatever. She's like, you can come get your stuff tomorrow. I'm like, I guess I'm being like forced out. All right, fine. So I go over, I get all my stuff, or I get about half my stuff, and because it's all that would fit in Brandon's car. So I get a bunch of my stuff, come over here, and I realize that there's a lot of stuff that's still missing. So I, you know, when I go back over to get the rest of my things, I'm kind of poking through and I'm like, this is not everything. So I went through and like my flat iron that was in her bathroom, like I knew it was in there. I went and grabbed that. I didn't grab anything that wasn't mine. And I even took stuff back to her house that was hers that had been mixed in, but I didn't know that there was stuff in the second load of junk that was hers. Do you see what I'm saying? So I take some of her stuff back or whatever, and I did the same thing when I got the second load of my stuff and when I had to return the key. So I was making sure that anything that I found she was still getting. Well, I woke up this morning realizing that I have a black t-shirt that's missing, I have a red t-shirt that's missing, and I have a bag that's missing. So the black t-shirt I bought at a thrift store in Colorado. Can't replace that. The red shirt I bought at a Canadian duty-free shop. Can't replace that. And the bag I bought while I was in Fairbanks, Alaska. Can't replace that. So I texted her like, dude, listen, I have some of your stuff, you have some of my stuff. I'm moving again. Like, can we do like a trade-off or something? And I had like texted her mom a couple months ago, like, hey, next time you're over there, can you get this stuff for me? She's like, yeah, sure. She ended up deleting me off Facebook, never got my stuff to me. And I was like, texted my old roommate, like, dude, I want to do a trade-off. Give me my stuff back. I'll give you your stuff back. She's like, you have no right to text me, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you know what? Whatever. At this point, I am so irritated with having roommates. Like, I never want to have roommates again, but I know that next time I move, I'm going to have roommates. Now, the people I'm moving in with, like, I've known for, 10 years or whatever, and I'm not really worried about it because it's a much different environment. But at the same time, it's like, if y'all are going to move in with somebody, roommate or otherwise, like, always take inventory of your stuff. Even if you sit there and, like, lay things out on a bed or, like, on hangers or something and, like, take pictures of every single thing that you own. That way, when stuff, like, goes missing or whatever, or, like, in the move and you can't get your stuff back, you can take it to, like, small claims court or something, because, like, I'm seriously so mad that this is, like, sentimental stuff to me, stuff that's really important that I can't get back because of her and because of her not being respectful. Now, there was plenty of time between January and April that I wasn't there that she could have, seen the stuff in moving things around. She's like, my house has been gone through top to bottom. None of your stuff is here. There was plenty of opportunity that she could have gone through everything and been like, oh, dang, this is Jessica's. Let me, like, put it to the side, whatever. But she didn't. And I still have a bag of her stuff in my closet. So, like, the respect there doesn't exist. So anytime you're going to move in with somebody, take inventory of your stuff, get stuff in writing, like, be a lot smarter about it than I've been. Because honestly, like, I'm so irritated now. Like, I wanted to try to go back to sleep because I woke up not feeling good, but I'm so irritated. I couldn't go back to sleep if I wanted to. Like, I'm so mad. So that's it. That's my 20-minute ramble about all of my awful roommate stories. There's obviously, there's times where, like, I've done people wrong. I'm not denying that. Like, I still owe somebody money for the car that I bought so that I could leave Alaska, which, P.S., if you ever see this dude that I bought the car from, you're going to get your money, but, like, I have to be able to, like, give you that money. Like, I have zero money right now, so, like, you'll get your money when I get my money. I don't know how that's going to work because we're not in contact, but I'll figure that out. Like, you will get your money. And also, to the auto parts place that I promised pizza before I left Alaska, same thing. You're still going to get your pizza, but I have to be able to, like, buy the pizza. Like, I have to have the money to do it. So, like, anytime that I've said I'm going to do something or, like, made a promise to somebody, I always try to, like, follow through with it. Like, I owed Brandon, like, a Mountain Dew Kickstart, a bag of Doritos, and a Snickers, and I made sure he got all of those before he moved. Like, I might not do things, like, right away when I say that I'm going to do something, because I don't always have the resources, but I always make sure that it gets done, like, no matter what, because I don't feel it's appropriate for me to, like, do people wrong or anything like that. So, anywho, I'm done rambling. There's my stories. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm so irritated. Like, I need to just, I don't know. stop moving so much because it's just shaking the camera. Anywho, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them down below. I love talking to you guys and having like these ongoing conversations. It's legit, like, it's the best. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!